I'm going to talk about calibration. Why do you feel calibration is important, Shabir?
Because if we do not calibrate properly, then our output or result will be not proper, like what we
Not accurate. Yeah. So if the
accurate.
instrument is faulty, your measurement is going to be faulty. That's plain
Yes.
and simple.
Yes.
So it is possible that an acceptable item you are rejecting, right? Or a rejectable item you can accept. Let me give a serious example. Imagine a doctor is treating a patient and he or she is checking the pressure here, and the instrument is giving high blood pressure because it is showing fault. It is faulty. It is showing high pressure and the patient has got normal or low pressure. So you detected the person. Calibration is important. High pressure when she has got low pressure. So you give medicine to reduce the pressure. What is going to happen to the patient? They will collapse. This is called hypotension or hypoglycemia. Blood sugar is less. It is showing more. So you give reduce medicine to reduce the blood sugar. So the patient needs to increase the sugar level. Because the instrument gave wrong, you are giving medicine to reduce the sugar further. The patient will collapse. So the doctor knows the treatment. Medicine is very good. What is the problem? Reliability of the instrument, right? So can you afford to have a situation like this?
No.
Therefore, measurement accuracy and reliability comes from a reliable measuring and monitoring device or measuring and monitoring resource. You have to keep them reliable at every point of time. So the standard does not say only calibrated. Standard says calibrated and verified or both. It may have to be calibrated, but calibration you do maybe once in 3 months, 4 months, or 6 months, or 1 year. Now, in between these, also the instrument can become unreliable. For example, the instrument got dropped. Now, it started malfunctioning, but tag shows it is still valid. You feel it is okay. It is acceptable, but it is not valid because it got dropped. So, the standard says calibrated and verified or both as required. Got my point? The idea is it has to be. Now, sometimes calibration is. Now, for example, digital, you cannot. But in analog watch, you can move the key and adjust the time. But digital watch, not calibrated. So if the calibration shows error, is it to be? What do you feel? If the instrument shows error, what you do?
In a regular case, it should be rejected in a regular case.
Yeah.
Normal case, it's rejected.
Normal case, you reject it. Manish, what you will do? You will reject it?
Not necessary, because like there could be some errors. According, we can adjust the, but we have to calibrate with some standard. There's a process for anything to be verified on job. The lab calibration is something different, and job calibration is something different, which for measuring instrument we do every time whenever we measure anything.
Okay.
So we can adjust.
So, yeah, you explained it, but my question is, if an instrument is out of calibration or having an error, what you do with this? Would you throw it out, or would you do something, or is it acceptable to use it?
No, we have to send it back to the lab for like calibration expert. We can get it recalibrated.
No, it is not possible to recalibrate it. It is going to show the error. In that case,
outright we have to reject the equipment.
Everybody agrees with this?
Normally, we have a small percentage of acceptable error.
Okay, very good. Excellent. Excellent. You are
that
saying
error, maybe we'll deal with that error in that
Say, imagine it is beyond this acceptable range.
Yeah, then maybe we'll have to reject it. It's like I'm just saying, like a watch we compare with another watch, maybe a few seconds behind or few seconds ahead. We might, okay, it's okay. We can, maybe like 30 seconds. We say it's okay. We will still use the watch. But if it's like 4 minutes, 5 minutes,
Mr. Chris from Poland, what he will do?
Depends from the case, because in case of a watch, it's faulty product. It's faulty, and I wouldn't sell it. I wouldn't give it to the customer in the end.
If we can't repair it, so
Yeah, if we can't fix it somehow, or if the cost of fixing it is too high,
we need to reject it.
yeah, then it's rejected.
Okay, Anita is coming up with something. She is 1 degree ahead of others. She wants to repair it. Say it is not possible to repair.
If it's not possible, then reject it.
All of you agree with this?
yes.
This is where I want to break these myths. This is what I've seen very seasoned qualified auditor giving certification, undertaking certification audits are giving the response that you are giving. But it is not rejectable. I will still accept it. It is acceptable. How? For example, just imagine, think more pragmatically. ISO is all about logic. This watch, the time is 5 minutes showing error. Because of that, you will throw this watch?
You could sell it at discounted price, or
Okay, fine. No, I'm not going to sell it. It is going to be with
sir,
me. Why should I sell?
As sir, I want to say that if you want to use it, then there is always a positive error or negative error. Like if you are confirmed that that certain amount of like 5 minutes watch or like in measuring this means certain degree of error is coming, so we can still use it.
Exactly. That's what I am driving,
Provided,
gentlemen.
yes. Yes.
If you know this is showing 5 minutes error, your measurement uncertainty is over. You know it is 5 minutes late, so you have to adjust this time when you start moving. So you can reach on time. Or if it is 5 minutes ahead,
Can
you know
we,
that I've got
adjust-
still 5 minutes time.
But can we adjust it in the application, for example, or
Yes,
just
in
we
the
need to know
application.
that, okay, I will add another 5 minutes.
You add another 5 minutes because you know this instrument has
Okay.
got 5 minutes. But if you know, then only if your watch is having error and Chris does not know, he is going to miss the flight.
Mm.
So if he knows and you identified this is 5 minutes slow, you have identified this. The moment Chris looks at, hey, Anita is written 5 minutes slow, what is it? You say, yeah, it is 5 minutes slow, it can't be adjusted. So you start 5 minutes before. So Chris reaches on time and catches the flight. So if there is any error, you have identified the error accurately, you adjust the time, it's perfectly acceptable. But if this error is not identified, then there is a problem. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
And
So,
could you
you know-
give us another example of something like that? In, for
Okay,
example, company?
let me give an example. There was a case in the company I was working. I gave the reference of the company, Jessup and Company. 200 years old company. So they were using measuring tips. Measuring tips for measurement of the beam, girdle, length and all those things, you know. So every time when they pull, the end get damaged. So what they did, they cut 100 mm from the edge and put the clip again. So one of the foremen and fitter knows this particular tape is 100 mm less because they cut first 100 mm which got damaged. Now while taking the measurement, you have to adjust this 100 mm. They did not do that. Another team came and picked it up and they made a girder which became 100 mm less. And 100 mm less girder will not sit on the rail. One girder was rejected just because of this measurement. And this was found at a final stage. When the inspector came with his correct gauge, he said it is 100 mm less. So it is just a tape which cost those days maybe Indian rupees 10 rupees or 20 rupees. A girder which is costing maybe $25,000 gone, rejected. So you can cut it. But if you write that it is 100 mm less, no problem. Is also a pressure gauge is not working properly. It is showing some error. If you can adjust this error while hydro testing, this still remains safe. Normally it doesn't happen. But in industry, what is important is to know the inaccuracy or the accuracy level so that the measurement results are accurate. Is this clear to all of you? So you have to, when you calibrate, you have to make sure this is valid, this is properly identified that it is calibrated, this is calibrated against a standard or reference, this is called certified reference material, CRM, or a master device against which it is calibrated. And this master device must be traceable to international standard through series of devices. Maybe one master device was calibrated by another device. Ultimately, it is an unbroken chain. So the instrument that you are using for calibration of your instrument is accurate because the master device is traceable to international standard. And you see that the master device is calibrated against the international standard. That's a requirement of the standard. Now, one more very interesting question I'm raising. Now, if you find some instruments or measuring resource which are out of calibration and lying in the factory, they're out of calibration, their validity has expired, but they're still there in the factory. Would you accept them, or what you do? How do you react in this situation? What you can do? You raise non-conformity, you ask some questions, what you will do? Shabir, Sharif?
We can try to see if it is still usable like that. Maybe, is there any possibility for a calibration?
Yeah,
Maybe
there's a possibility of calibration, but they are not calibrated now. They're out of calibration. Their calibration has expired. So what do you do?
Out of calibration means it is not possible to calibrate again. You mean like that?
No. It is possible to calibrate, but the calibration just expired.
Certificate date has been expired. That is.
Yeah. Okay.
It has expired. Yes, exactly. Calibration date has expired.
So we find other one that's properly calibrated and calibrate accordingly, or calibrate according to the standards document or whatever else.
Very good. So you can, of course, calibrate them. There is no doubt about it.
We should test it.
Right. You will ask them why they are not calibrated first.
Okay.
Right? And then they say, no, we don't have any job right now, so we are just keeping it. So do you know they are out of calibration If they say, yes, we know, so why are you not calibrating? They will say, we don't have a job. All
Happens
right.
very.
So it happens. It happens. So now I can ask, when you will calibrate it? No, if they say before it is used, I'll calibrate it. Perfect. Standard says they are calibrated before they are used. If they've used without calibration and knowing that it is out of calibration, then there is a non-conformity. If they know that this is out of calibration and they've identified it properly, if they don't know that they're out of calibration, then there is a problem. If they don't know, then there is no marking, I don't know really it is calibrated or not, then there is a problem. Got my point? But
Yes.
if they...
The instrument could just lay down and wait for the moment, yeah? And it's okay
Right.
if everybody knows.
Right. Exactly. So if they are lying there for calibration, without calibration, no problem,
Okay.
right? But if they are not calibrated, then there is a...
Yeah, okay.
But before the use, they have to... Now just imagine another typical case. They have used a device which is out of... And they know that it is out of calibration, but still they...
I think we should test it again with the calibration instrument.
Wonderful. If you are nearby me, I would have given you a chocolate now. It is a fantastic. Please, you are going to buy her some chocolate on my behalf.
I'll
right?
buy her a chocolate. Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. Brilliant answer. Or virtually, I can give you a chocolate. Very interesting. Good answer. If you know that something is not calibrated and something has come very urgently, you will ask questions. Well, you have used it. Why did you use it? You can say that the manufacturer or the company can say, we have used it because we had no choice. But we knew that they are accurate. They just expired. But we informed the customer and we have hold those items instead of waiting for calibration, which might take few days time. We have gone ahead but identified those items that I have accepted using this instrument. And I will check this calibration. If the calibration is okay, I will accept them. If the calibration is not okay, I will inspect them again with another calibrated instrument to accept or reject. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But if you have not identified them, then there is a problem because you don't know which one was accepted or rejected by using this instrument, which is out of calibration. They're all mixed. Then there is a problem.
Yes.
Manish, is this acceptable to you? Makes logic?
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
So this is called positive recall. Release in positive recall. I've accepted this for the moment when the calibration was done later on, but we have used the out of calibration device fully knowing well that this is accurate. It is just that it is expired. I have used it, but I hold the material. I have tested the device and then till such time I have hold them. Or even if it goes to the customer, I tell the customer, sir, we have used them. We are sure, but we have not done it. We'll come back to you and hold it for the moment. Don't use them. We will check that and we'll come back to you. In case anything wrong, we will test them and inspect them once again. Perfectly all right. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Another situation. Say you don't know that they are out of calibration, even though their tag is showing they're calibrated. Some malfunctioning has happened and it has gone to the customer, and later on you realized that, hey, there is something in this instrument is faulty now. We found it, but we have accepted some item already has gone to the customer. What do you do in this case? Got the point? You did not know. At the time of inspection, they are all showing all fine. You have accepted it without knowing and accepted the item which has gone to the customer. And you found the instrument is out of calibration. It's not accurate enough now. And then you know, my God, I have used this device for inspecting and accepting those items. What do you do in this case?
Recall the product and check it again.
Wonderful. Again, chocolate for you. Gentlemen, I would have loved to give you chocolate so you can buy chocolates and eat for yourself. Consider it as a gift from me, okay? All right. What I am going to do is I'm going to introduce a very interesting system. I'll give you some cards, okay? I'll count these cards, and if you get the highest mark, and I'll add these numbers, I'll give you some gift. I'll send it across. All right. So, yes, your point is right, Manish. If you find something is wrong, you are a sincere and good organization. You immediately talk to the customer, sir, hold on. We observed there was a problem with one instrument that we have used, and we found there is a bit of error. We would like to come and check those items once again. If there is any problem, we'll fix them up. You have to contact the customer or the next process and go back and check whether this error that you have found is affecting the acceptability of that product or not. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Here, the classic example is like in automobile industry. You might have, we came across very frequently that some part is faulty. It is found in some vehicle, and on a bulk, the automobile companies recall the product and replace it.
Exactly. So this is called product recall.
Yes.
Product recall and identification and traceability is found to be. This is not necessarily only because of calibration, maybe because of other factors also.
Other factors, yes.
Yeah. One of the classic case was in Ford, the Mustang is one of the car that made Ford one of the richest company. They sold in billions, actually. Mustang GT made billions of sales. It was designed by Lee Iacocca and developed. He was father of Mustang GT in Ford. And that car had a very silly mistakes, but very fatal mistakes. Their floor mat thickness was more. So everybody feels the thickness of more is better for cushion. So what is big deal? What did happen? It's a low body, right? So in the floor carpet in full throttle, the accelerator gets stuck in the floor mat. Imagine in Mustang GT, which is a muscle car, you can take it almost up to 200 plus kilometer per hour. And the accelerator gets stuck on the floor mat and you cannot bring it back. And there is another vehicle in front of you and some people in front of you. What you will do? Crash. So the floor mat thickness, which was considered nothing serious, and they did not even took any note of it, they found was a reason for a huge recall. Of course, they have contacted people and replaced the floor mats, but they have identified where those vehicles have gone. Toyota had a product recall. Many companies in the world had product recalls. Many products had product recalls. Many food product industries have product recall process. For example, you find the food is contaminated, a batch of product that is in the shelves of a supermarket, and you have to bring those products, the breads or other stuff or yogurt or some products. You have to bring them back. So this is called product recall, positive recall. So you have to have the traceability, that on this day's product has gone to this place. So we'll have to contact them, bring them back, destroy them so that people do not use them. And this is called product recall. This is where product identification and traceability is extremely important. So I think I have given lots of examples on calibration because This is an area where many organizations are getting non-conformity when there is no non-conformity because of lack of understanding by the auditors. They are raising non-conformity. I've given most of the possible cases that is very common. So when you audit an organization, just if something is not in the best order, don't jump into conclusion and give a non-conformity, because the more seasoned you are in making decisions, you are adding more value. So if you feel this is what they should do, and then you advise them, they will appreciate that here was a group of auditors. They are really seasoned. They don't jump into conclusion and give non-conformity for the sake of raising non-conformities. Got the point? But mind it, if there is any non-conformity, you have to identify, and there is no way back to just downplay this. If there is a non-conformity, you have to raise it by all means. It's not that I found a non-conformity, we did not raise. That is a compromise, serious compromise. But if there is no non-conformity and you are raising, it's a lack of professional service, quality service. So never raise a non-conformity. It is better to give a benefit of doubt even, but don't raise a non-conformity when there is no non-conformity. Is we be very clear about it. All right, so this is how the standard has to be interpreted.